Malta in July carries a heat that feels older than the island itself, a dense, unmoving warmth that settles into limestone and lingers long after sunset. Tourists drift along the coastlines, cicadas pulse in the background, and somewhere in that landscape, a 17-year-old German boy rides a rented mountain bike through sun-bleached paths. Unaware that the island soon will hold his name in a silence that has lasted nearly a decade. This is the unresolved death of Mike Mansholt. Mike Mansholt grew up in Oldenburg, Germany. Athletic, curious, and eager to see the world, Malta was his first solo trip. He stayed in a youth hostel, explored the island on a rented mountain bike, and sent his last WhatsApp voice message on July 18, 2016. He was supposed to return the bike the next day. He was supposed to fly home on June 22nd, but he didn't. When he didn't arrive, his family's concern sharpened into fear. They contacted Maltese authorities. They flew to the island. They waited for the news that never came. The timeline is deceptively simple. July 18th, Mike's last communication. July 19th, the bike is never returned. July 22nd, he doesn't board his flight home. July 26th, his body is found at Dingley Cliffs. But the simplicity ends there. The rented mountain bike, discovered near the cliffs, upright, undamaged, as if placed there, not crashed, not thrown, just standing. His phone, found with his body, showed no activity after July 18th. No calls, no messages, no photos. The silence in the timeline became its own kind of evidence. Dingley Cliffs rise sharply above the sea, a dramatic, windswept edge of Malta where the wind never stops moving. The drop is steep, the terrain is unforgiving. The landscape feels ancient and indifferent. Search teams found Mike's body far below, in a place difficult to reach, even intentionally. But it wasn't the location that stunned his family. It was the condition of his remains. According to German autopsy, nearly all major internal organs were missing. The heart, brain, lungs, liver, pancreas, adrenal glands, right kidney, bladder, stomach, small intestines, even the hyoid bone. His body weight was recorded at just 16 kilograms, which is just over 35 pounds. Maltese authorities suggested rodents. German pathologists found no evidence of animal interference. His shoes were missing, his camera was missing, and his father was told the organs had liquefied. Later, he learned they had been disposed of before the body was returned to Germany. Nothing about the scene aligned with official explanations. The Maltese magisterial inquiry concluded that Mike died of natural causes, a fall, dehydration, or a medical event. The case was closed, but the German autopsy told a different story. No signs of animal activity, no clear cause of death, missing organs that could not be explained by decomposition, missing bones that raised further questions, a body weight inconsistent with the timeline. The contradictions were stark enough that Mike's father, Bernd Mansholt, refused to accept the official conclusion. He believed, and still believes, that someone else was present when his son died. Bernd returned to Malta again and again. He walked the same paths his son walked. He stood at the edge of the cliffs, staring down into the silence. He visited offices where blinds were drawn and answers were vague. He filed requests, wrote letters, and refused to let the case fade into the background noise of unsolved tragedies. He was told the body was too decomposed to view. He was told the organs had disintegrated. He was told the case was closed. Then in 2021, he took a step that forced the case back into the light. He went to court to formally request that the investigation be reopened. His argument was simple. The contradictions were too significant to ignore. The missing organs demanded explanation. The investigation had been prematurely shut down. The truth had not been pursued. The court action didn't bring immediate answers, but it made silence impossible to justify. Today the case sits in a kind of legal purgatory. German courts are reviewing a request for a European investigation order, a mechanism that would compel Maltese authorities to reopen the case under EU mutual recognition principles. Malta has resisted, Germany continues to push, and the Mansholt family waits. Nearly 10 years have passed, and the investigation remains suspended between two countries, two autopsies, and two incompatible versions of the truth. Time moves forward everywhere except here. There are cases that resolve themselves neatly, and there are cases that refuse to settle. The death of Mike Mansholt belongs to the latter, a story defined not by what is known, but by what is missing. A boy on a bike, a cliff, body found in impossible condition, a father who will not stop asking, a system that will not answer. The silence around the case has become its own kind of evidence. A presence as heavy as the heat that hung over Malta the week that Mike disappeared. Until the investigation is reopened, the questions remain suspended over the cliffs where he was found, echoing into the half-light of the story that still has no ending. Thank you for being here. If you want more quiet, atmospheric investigations like this one, you know where to find me.